welcome back to Tarot Tats and Tea. I'm getting back to doing a card review, which is something I haven't done in a while, and I'm sure, like me, many of you are waiting on Kickstarters that are due out around February, March, possibly a little bit later on. The deck that I'm going to show to you today I was introduced to by a really lovely lady called Anne Fort, who mentioned this deck to me. I thought, oh, I must have a look. So I did. I looked it up and I just thought it just looks so pretty that I thought I'm going to have a closer look at that, and I'm so glad I did. Now, the deck that I'm talking about today is the Tarot de Carlotydes. Okay, it comes in, it's published by Fournier, and it's in this tuck box that could potentially cause tuck box rage. And it has this lovely floral print inside, and this is the back that you'll see on the cards. The little white book comes, it's like that, but it folds out, which I haven't seen before in little white books. And it is printed in Spanish, English, French, Dutch and Portuguese. Now, the first language is Spanish, and I think that, that will be because it's been published in Spain. And I just took to having a little read of it. I don't usually have a look at these little white books, but I'm glad I did. I've just marked some areas here. And it's under the section where we get in each of the books, which is what is tarot. But the print was so small, I thought, am I reading this properly? So I stood back half a mile, not quite. But it tells us, the tarot deck contains 78 cards, which we know, and is mostly used for fortune-telling, meditation, and practice of magical rites, and also a very effective agent in psychotherapy and as a help and advisor in psychological matters in general. Yeah, I don't know if it's just a foible of my own, but I'm not over keen on the term fortune-telling. Guidance, yes. Fortune-telling, I have a little bit of a, not an issue, but it's just one of those things that doesn't sit well with me. The card depicts the archetypes found in the classic psychology by C.J. Jung and numerous magical and religious symbols. And this is the part that I found actually interesting. According to the Hermetic tradition, two secrets remain to be unveiled. They are astrology and tarot. So I'll just go back, 2 lines before that. It is most probable that the tarot or Book of Thoth, originally the Book of Life, originated in ancient Egypt. According to the Hermetic tradition, 2 secrets remain to be unveiled: astrology and tarot. In the Great Pyramid, where there is a narrow path underneath that, through the feet of the Sphinx, it leads to the Egyptian Temple of Initiation. The pictures along the walls of this temple show 108 tarot cards. 78 of these cards are known to us as the esoteric tarot, but the remaining 30 were not disclosed to the public. I don't have the word yet. So that would be very interesting. Has anybody ever been there? Somewhere to possibly put on my bucket list, maybe. And then it goes on to tell us a little more about the tarot, and the one thing that I like that it ends with here is, as the American expert Eden Gray says, the magic is in the cards. Whatever you achieve with them, it is your image in the mirror of self-accomplishment. Like I say, I don't usually take time out to look at the little white books because I find the print is so small, I struggle with it. And so, I just sort of put them to one side and use them as I feel. But there's just something that drew me to looking at this little book. And so where we have the cards, it then goes into the cards, okay? And so the Fool, we have what it represents. So this here, it represents spirits. signification in the normal upright position. Folly, mania, extravagance, delirium, frenzy, insecurity, frivolity, passion, enthusiasm. Cards in reverse position, negligence, absence, bad decisions, indecisions and apathy. So we then get back to the keywords, and that's how it is throughout the rest of the little book. But what I do like is, like, so for instance, death represents the spirit in transformation. You don't often get what it represents in these little books. So before we get on to the next language, we then have the back of this, spreading the tarot cards. It gives you a little a bit of spiel about the spread of the tarot cards, and then there's this spread here, a diagram of a spread here, and that, I think, is something that I want to have a look at. It actually uses 11 cards, and why is card number 6? Right, that says please read the instructions for this one carefully, so that is what I will do, and have a look at that after we've looked at these cards. Right, so that's the box and the book. These are the cards that, you know, the little sort of title cards. Tarot de Carlotydes, and it's created by Carlotydes Santos in Spain. The backs, and there we go. Now we're going to look at the majors first. I love the colours used in this. They're quite pastel-y, but then you have dots of brighter colours. There's our Fool. And I love the sort of innocence of this, and its naivety. It's sort of bare naivety, bearing all for the world. And just the frivolity of it. I just think there's an innocence about it that I think is beautiful. Then we have our Magician, that puts me very much in mind of David Bowie for some reason. Our High Priestess looks like a pomegranate, you know, and it almost looks like all the seeds inside the pomegranate here, which sort of gives us the image of fertility. You know, got the pink, and it's just beautiful. We don't have the Joachim and the Boaz that we would see on our traditional one, but we do have this resemblance of secrecy, of new ideas, something new to be born, coming from deep within. She's almost, everything that's inside is going to burst out. The Empress, very much a bridal look about her. The Emperor, and this puts me in mind of the story, the children's story, the Emperor's New Clothes. So, albeit our Emperor is usually wise and grand and somebody that, you know, minds his flock, so to speak, there's also something that of frivolity and a little foolish, a little bit too full of himself maybe, you know. Now, I do like this Hierophant. It puts me in mind of Alice in Wonderland, with the Hierophant having lunch with the hare, and we've got a number of symbols in this. The patterns on the carpet. There's the second hare at the bottom here. Then we have the chandelier that looks like it's comprises of a rosary bead as well, and they're hanging from a grapevine. You know, grapevines, it's like fruition and things. It's and you know, grapes have so many different meanings. Then the Lovers. Our Chariot, and again, this is another interesting thing. We have 2 white horses, and it is the person that is driving that chariot in the black. So we still have the black and white, but set about quite differently to what we would see in our traditional chariot card. Justice. And the skull weighed with the heart on the scales of justice there. Our Hermit. He reminds me across of a cross between a beekeeper and a fervent gardener who loses himself in his hobbies. And St. Patrick as well with the green. So it's a lovely card. And all the symbols on the card with the flower. The light is in, it's a candle he's carrying, the growth on his staff. It's all growth. Our Wheel of Fortune. And we've got, look like hieroglyphics down at the bottom here. So if you can make those out, they would be interesting to know what they are. Strength. This is a very interesting strength card. And just trying to see there. In this strength card, you know, we've got somebody balancing on their arms and having the strength to be who she wants to be, do what she wants to do, regardless of the opinions of others, really. The Hanged Man, again, very beautiful and circus-like. Death. It's actually not too bad a looking card. I love all the flowers for change, you know. He's coming along with his scythe, cutting out what's no longer needed, preparing for new growth. Temperance. Look at this Temperance card. Initially, I thought her dress was transparent because it appears that you can see the sky. However, if her dress was transparent, you would see the rest of her legs. There's her feet there. You can't see her legs. So it's almost as though she's wearing some form of invisibility cloak that makes her blend in with parts of her environment. Again, if she was transparent, you would see the rest of these rods. So it's almost like a chameleon taking on the colour that it's sort of, that's predominant to it at the time. And there's a peacefulness about this. There's, besides sort of the peace and quiet in the background, so to speak, that, you know, away from the noise of everyday life. But look here, you know, we have our water and our jug. She's on a little island, and it just, to me, portrays tranquility and abundance in another sense, you know, finding peace in that tranquility. The blue skies, the clouds, it's just lovely. Here's our devil, Baphomet. The tower is quite striking. We have this tower that has been surrounded by a dragon and it's crushing the tower. An external force sort of crashing down what no longer serves, something being revealed. Now, the star. Now, the star has a transparent gown on. And, well, it's just, I actually find it so beautiful, so pretty, so beautiful. And she's sort of standing in the water that's being poured from the jugs in the two corners at the top here. You know, it's creating a pool for her as opposed to being poured onto her. The moon. Things being revealed by the light of the moon. Or is something being hidden? With the string of lights going round the moon, something deceptive. It's not really the moon shining, but the fairy lights. Or is it the moon shining, making the fairy lights shine? The sun. It's gorgeous. I love that card. I love the colours. Judgment. Look at the symbolism here. You've got the eye with a tear here. A couple of trumpets all along here. And then finally the world. That's lovely. So those are the majors of this deck, the Tarot and Carlotydes. And I'm just going to page through the minors. So that is the Tarot de Carlotydes. I find it very pretty. I find it's something I'm going to enjoy reading, or certainly learning to read with. I feel it's more Thoth-like than RWS, and I feel that there's a lot of hidden symbolism within the deck, even within the minors. I haven't pointed them out to you, that I thought I'd just let you sort of have a look and see what you think. And I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. So, like I say, that is the Tarot de Carlotydes. Now, just before I go, I'm going to be doing another video in a little bit with psi cards. I had have a look at these in the book, and I'm not going to do those now, they'll be later on. But something I just wanted to share with you. If you recall, I've been doing the, what the heck is it called? How can I forget? Ancestral Tarot. Gosh, good grief, it was like my memory had been wiped then. I just want to show you now, I've shown this before, this stays on my table, and this belonged to my great-grandmother, and it was passed down to my aunt. My aunt then gave it to my mum, and my mum said, I think you would like this, and she was right. So this is my great-grandmother, or great nine as you would say in Welsh. That's her brooch, and I was, which I think fitted in perfectly with sort of an ancestral work. I came across this in a antique shop the other day, a lovely brooch, sort of like a one of these brooches that back in the sort of 1800s they would have had made as a memoriam for people who had passed on, memento mori, and of people that they loved. I think this has been looked after very well, and I've done the test. I think it is sort of a gold. If it's gold, it has very little gold in it. But it's so beautiful, and I thought that looks so well on my ancestral altar or my ancestral space. I just thought, I like that. That's going to stay right there. So I thought I'd share that with you. And one little thing I picked up yesterday was this tray. And this is going to be used for my charm casting. I have shown a video on charm casting before, and I was using a little silver tray, but because my charms are silver, sometimes they're hard to see. So I thought this would be absolutely ideal. So folks, that's what I've been up to. That's what I have to share with you today. And I hope you enjoyed this video and this walkthrough of the Tarot de Carlotydes. There you go. Thanks for watching. Take care and have a lovely day. Bye now.